Hey guys, it's Chris from Smithy Fitness. Welcome back, good to see you. So as you might know, I've mentioned it a few times, I'm a real fan of Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power. And today I want to talk about the 28th law, and that's enter action with boldness. So you have a choice in life. You can be timid or you can be bold. And life rewards the bold. The timid is like wallpaper. No one notices you. You're just kind of in the background, being careful not to offend anybody. Whereas the bold, they're the ones that are on the platform. They're talking, they're gesturing, they're making a lot of noise. They're saying some perhaps outrageous things. But those are the people we admire. And you know, it's a fitness channel. So let's talk about being bold with your fitness goals. You know, we don't want to set small goals. We want to set goals that excite you, that make you really, ready to pounce and get on it. For example, let's say you're 40 pounds overweight and you decide you want to lose 20 pounds by January 1. Well, that's not a very exciting goal. I mean, 20 pounds is pretty good, but you're still going to be kind of fat and you're still going to basically look like just a somewhat smaller but still fat and unimpressive. Now let's take the other side of it and say you make a goal of losing 40 pounds and at the same time doubling your strength. Now, at the end of losing 40 pounds and doubling your strength, you're going to be something of an Adonis. Like, you're going to look great. You're going to be a totally different person. So let's set that goal. That's going to get you juiced and going in the morning. And yes, it's much more challenging and you might not be able to do it by December 31, but you know what? You might. And here's what you do. You start off with a 72-hour fast. Yeah, it's hard, but do the 72-hour fast, because just dropping your calories 10% isn't going to get you anywhere fast. It'll get you somewhere, but start with a bang, 72-hour fast, lose 3-4 pounds in that 72 hours, reset your body, and now you go sub 10% calories for 10 days, and then you do another one. And I'm telling you, you're gonna make tremendous progress, and you're gonna see that weight come off at the same time you're in the gym 3 or 4 days a week. And on those other days, you're getting 10,000 steps. So you're really accelerating the process. And if you can keep in your mind the picture of you 40 pounds lighter and double the strength, that will keep you motivated to keep going. Now let's say that's not your story, but you want to get strong, you want to build some muscle. Well, okay, you can go to the gym and do pec deck, bench press, leg press, or, which will get you somewhere, but not very fast and not very impressively. If you want to add some muscle, you've got to do squats and deadlifts. I mean, number 1 and number 2. Learn to squat, learn to deadlift. That is the beginning of excellence. On top of that, you can add some bench and some shoulder press. And from there, you can really build, especially if you dial in your nutrition and get all that protein, that animal protein, guys, that we need. Sorry, the soy and the pea protein just doesn't cut it. So that's how you set a big goal, a bold goal, a bold initiative to really make something happen and have that picture of this excellent you that keeps you driving towards it, as opposed to a meandering half-ass goal. So as always, I've got to do 50, 100 push-ups, probably close to 100. See if I can get in the frame. Here we go. So we've got timidity on one end of the spectrum and boldness on the other. And you really got to stamp out any timidity that is in you. And you can see it with prize fighters. Remember when Muhammad Ali or Mike Tyson, when they did the stare down at the weigh-in, and those guys were so intimidating. They're nose to nose, and Tyson was half crazy, of course, and Ali was just so smooth, and his his talk, his words were unlike anyone that had ever been. And those guys had mostly defeated their opponents before they stepped into the ring. So that's a bold statement, you know, when you go nose to nose and you talk trash to someone who might just knock you into next week. We can see it in the animal kingdom too. You know, if you ever, I have 2 cats, they go outside, and there's quite a few cats in the neighborhood. And when the cats bump into or see another cat from, you know, down the street, what you'll often see is the standoff, whereas the 2 cats, they kind of go towards each other, and they're almost nose to nose, you know, maybe 6 inches away, 8 inches away, and they're just screaming, right? They're just going at it, but they're not moving. They're puffed up, and they're just kind of staring at each other. Their ears are back, and they're making a lot of noise, 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes. And then if you watch, they both back away slowly, and go their separate paths. Whereas if you have a cat that comes across a weaker cat and the weaker cat runs away, that stronger cat is gonna chase him down, and the fur is gonna fly, and that stronger cat is gonna inflict some pain on the weaker cat. Now there's just a little bit of fur flies and maybe a little cut and a scrape. It happens. That's the animal kingdom. But this is what being bold does versus being timid. If you're timid and you run away, you're gonna get picked on. It happened in school with the bullying. You know, the kid who's afraid and kind of keeps his head down is much more likely to be bullied than the outgoing kid. So none of that's good, but this is just the reality of life. So we come down to business negotiations as well. You have to show up strong and confident and asking for what you want, and not sort of cowering and being careful not to ask for too much for fear of scaring the other side off or offending the other side, let's put it that way. I remember my dad, you know, he's God bless his soul and rest in peace, Dad, but he was a real gentleman, and he did not know how to negotiate. And I can remember him going into buying a new car, so this would be 30 years ago now. He was maybe 70, let's say, and it was a $20,000 Chrysler or something, you know, which was a fair bit of dough in those days, and especially for him. And he was talking to the salesman, and he was ready to pay full price, but he wasn't quite ready to pull the trigger. And he came home, and we talked on the phone, and I said, Dad, just, you know, when he says the price, all you have to do is say, is there anything, that's kind of a lot of money, is there anything you can do for me? And for sure he would have dropped it 300, 500 without even raising your voice, without even trying. And if you tried, you probably get him to drop the price 1,000. But my dad, he just found it beneath him to negotiate, and paid full price, and had a great relationship with the salesman. But you know, the salesman did very, very well on that. So you've got to be bold. Okay, set of pull-ups. See if I can get 8 or 9. So overall, boldness gives you a level of presence. People know that you're there and that you've got some balls. And that draws attention. Again, versus the timid who are like wallpaper, especially us guys, the world will just pass you by and don't give a crap about you. So you've got to up your boldness, up your game, up your audacity. If something goes wrong because of your bold move, make another bold move to straighten it out. Don't be so concerned about the repercussions. Just be determined and make these things happen. All right, that's it. Here we are, it's the end of October, October 30th. Beautiful day in Toronto. Hope you're doing well, guys. I will do some more videos, but most likely from my gym. And I will see you in the next one.